Okay, this next one, I finally want to get the Jo etiquette and holding documented for you. Again, especially since you're practicing with a Jo at home. Jo is a very versatile weapon. I used it for years in the mountains as a walking stick. I do my practice out in the mountains. And everything you do on one side, you can do on the other. It's different than the sword and the bokken. Okay? So I'll get a Jo off of the rack here. We'll go over bowing with it and holding with it and take you to where you can start your Jo practice. Okay? Okay, main way to hold the Jo when you're walking around is a right hand. Okay? You could be mindful about doing it on the left, but with the right, it's relaxed. Okay? It has a little bit of an angle. Again, everything is relaxed. Don't lock your legs. Don't find tension. If you look for tension, let it relax. So you can do a head-to-toe check with everything that we do. So you find out where you might be holding any tension, and just let it go a little bit. It doesn't need to collapse. You just let it go a little bit. Okay? So I'm holding it like this, and one of the advantages of holding it like this is it's easy to hit 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 hits. Ba-boom, ba-boom. Okay, 4 hits. Okay? And you get a comfortable feel for it being, midway. Okay? You'll start to know if it's a little bit lopsided. Okay? So you start to get an intuitive sense of where to hold it for a nice, comfortable balance. When you're holding the Jo in Kamae, basic is going to be now left Hanmi. Okay? So I'm going to show it over here in a minute, but to be left Hanmi, okay, the Jo is out in front of you, tip is up a little bit. This front hand can be like we did with the bokken, but the back hand, okay, since the angle of the hand is different, you can just hold comfortably. Okay? It's just at your hip, okay? Not pass, not down, not up, just at your hip. Okay? So there are some methodologies too for you having it at your hip to be able to push forward with it. Okay? Not that we do that, but just to give you an option of remembering where it should be and why. So it's right at your hip. It has a little bit of an angle because with your opponent being just a few feet away, more than a few feet, but this is foreshortened towards their eyes. So you're pointing towards in solitary practice, your imaginary opponent, their eyes. I'll mention this again throughout the series, but your imaginary opponent when you're doing solitary practice is always your height, always, okay? So if we were doing the basic ski, okay, it's going from my lower sternum, where the xiphoid process is, to my imaginary opponent's xiphoid process, the bottom of their sternum. And then you can get specific with angles for throat, forehead, solar plexus, etc. Okay? So you start to fine-tune it. Okay? So that's basic way of holding the Jo. And you can practice the other side as well. I'll go over these kind of tuning in drills in another video. Okay? But when you start out and you're in Hanmi, and I'm going to start with the left Hanmi, okay? Migi Kamae, Migi Hanmi, okay? Right Hanmi, okay? Hidari Hanmi, okay? And then the standard for the Jo is left. Okay? Then the Jo comes down, and I have my Omote Sankaku where the seam again, just like bokken, is splitting the front foot and the back foot. Okay? Then when you place the Jo down, the Jo is being split by that seam as well. Okay? Why? Because if it's off to this side, there's an opening here. Okay? If it's off to this side, there's an opening here. So this is your main protection point, and you can move equally to either side. Okay? So I'll show that over here as well. Okay? It's right on the seam. Okay? Feet are like that. So then you start to get a feel for your stance. You drop it, okay? And feel where it's at for your own stance. Wherever you might be, okay, feel where it's at for your own stance. So you're aware of any openings either side. So you have a sense of, it's right in the middle is protecting you. Okay? Then I'm going to show 3 ways of taking it up into your stance so you can practice your subordinate and everything. Okay? First way is to bring it towards you. Your backhand goes to meet it. So it's meeting together. The sooner you can get 2 hands on, the better. Okay? Then it separates from there. This comes down to the end. Then this one will adjust. Okay, so you can hold this down further and not have to adjust it, but just so you don't allow any discomfort. You want to be comfortable. Okay? So first way, comes towards you, get 2 hands on as soon as you can, and then into Kamai. Next way, snap it up, okay? Right to where it is. Okay? Then you can go right into ski or whatever you need to do. Okay? In that sense, you don't move your hand to your hip, you just snap it up to it. Okay? Of course, there's a danger that if you get hit, okay, you might miss, or your skill level is such that you don't get it right. Okay? You catch it someplace else or you miss it. Okay? So that's why I don't recommend it as the main one. Main one, secondary one. Okay? Third one would be to reach over for a reverse grip, a gyaku grip, okay? And then go into Kamai. Okay? So your left hand will be turned over at that point. Okay? It doesn't move, it just slides. Okay? So quick review. 1, 2, 3. Okay? For each of them, when you're doing them, since we're always doing body work along with weapons work, your body is doing something with at the same time as the weapon. Okay? So if I exaggerate this, first one, knees bent a little bit. Okay? I'm exaggerating it now, but your center drops. Okay? Second one, knees drop, relaxed, soft knees. Okay? Third one, okay, you just have to start to settle a little bit. It really is not even noticeable when you're actually doing it, but you get that sense of settling. Okay, on to the next one.